Now that I have about 15 hours in the game, I feel qualified to talk about should you play Harvestella. If you don't know what the game is, it's kind of like Rune Factory, or if you don't know what Rune Factory is, imagine Stardew Valley with a little bit more JRPG elements, a little bit more combat and a little less focus on the farming. So, it came out earlier this year, I believe sometime early November, and the reviews have been very mixed. If you look at it on Steam or other places, there's a lot of good reviews and a lot of bad reviews. So is this game worth playing? And the answer is a resounding no, unfortunately. And believe me, I tried to find something redeemable about this game. Usually when I don't like a game, I'll stop playing it right away. I decided to play this one for 15 plus hours to try and find something that I like, something to give me a reason to keep playing, and I just cannot find it. Let's start with the biggest drawback, the story. And in a JRPG, obviously the story is supposed to be like the main draw of the game, right? We're used to like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and different games that have really big, fun stories that you get sucked into. And this game, honestly, I gave up on the story within about 20 minutes for a few different reasons. One, it's just poorly written, flat out. It's just not an interesting story at all, because it's one of those, and this is a very JRPG element, is you're some mysterious amnesiac from maybe the future who has visions of a girl who's supposed to save the world, who gives you mysterious instructions, and your partner is another time traveler from a different time who is an amnesiac who doesn't remember everything about their future, and the rest of your party is misfits that you meet along the way and help because friendship is the real treasure, but also like one of your people joined you because his girlfriend, love, I don't know, is actually a bioengineered weapon who fused with a dragon who tried to end the world, and after you destroy her, he realized that she would have wanted him to help you save the rest of the world. Like, it's out there and not very good. But the other part of it that just makes it unbearable is you can't go more than maybe 3 minutes without a cutscene. It took me a while to find gameplay you see here that isn't filled with cutscenes because it is so bad. A lot of the quests in the game will literally be walk 10 steps, talk to someone. Their quest will send you to someone else. You walk over there, watch a cutscene. That cutscene will send you somewhere else. Go over there, watch that cutscene. That cutscene will send you back. Go watch that cutscene. That cutscene will send you to another cutscene, and it'll do that for like 20 cutscenes, and then you'll get some reward like 1,000 gil or Grilla or whatever they call it in this game. And I gotta say, that is so uninteresting and keeps me disengaged as a player that I can't go more than 10 steps without running into a cutscene that frankly I don't care about because I gave up on the bogus story a long time ago. The other draw of this game is supposed to be the farming aspect. It's supposed to be, like I said, Rune Factory or Stardew Valley, where you're going to be farming, and that farming is supposed to help you get money. You can cook different things with it to give you stamina, and that's where we need to break off from the farming for just a second to talk about the stamina. In the bottom left-hand screen, you'll see my character's name is Ian. That's just the name they gave them. And you'll see that there is a yellow bar underneath, and then there's a little gauge that looks kind of like a stomach with the number 8 next to it right now. So every action you take drains your stamina, and your stamina only regens if your stomach is full, so you have to constantly be eating things in order to have stamina to fight, to move, to do anything. Which is kind of a cool concept at first. It's like, okay, I have a reason to grow different crops, to cook different things because I need the food to keep on fighting, but it just becomes such a tedious annoyance. There are not enough items to keep my stomach level high, which means you have to constantly cook them, but to cook the items in this game requires an immense amount of money, an immense amount of resources. So the only way to make money really is either do the quests, which I have no interest in doing, or to grow crops. But if you're growing crops to sell them, then you're not growing crops to make the food items that you need to be able to go afford things and do other things. So it is not a satisfying gameplay loop at all. And the farming is your very standard. You go use a hoe to till the land, and you plant a seed, you water it once a day for between 1 and 6 days, and then a crop sprouts that you either sell or you turn into food to then eat. The zones are fairly small, which isn't a bad thing. They are a little maze-like, but they're all built the exact same. And honestly, I used to think this is good game design. They're built kind of like Skyrim dungeons, where they have loops back to the entrance so you can quickly get from start to finish and move around. There is a few rewards for exploration, excuse me. And that'll usually be like some ore or something valuable or some upgrade stuff. If you look around, you'll find some chests kind of scattered throughout the area. The problem with that being that they give you so much garbage in such small stacks. You'll constantly, as you're walking around, be given 1 or 2 items that don't stack with other items. So your inventory will fill up every 30 seconds. You can see right there, my backpack's already full. It's only, halfway through the adventuring day and it's already full. And yes, you can pay to upgrade your backpack, but it goes back to it costs so much money to upgrade your backpack, and you need that money for farming so that you can even go adventuring, that it's not fun. And it's so frustrating that your backpack is constantly full of garbage, which either means you have to go home and start over because all the enemies will respawn once you go to sleep, or stop picking up items and you need all those items for various different things. Let's talk about the combat for a second, because I think the combat is the biggest drawback to this game, and that's again saying something about a JRPG where it's story and then it's combat. So there is an active dodge. If you read a lot of the reviews, people will say there is no dodging. There is a dodge button, but it doesn't work very well and you hardly use it, which means the combat comes down to you run up to an enemy, you spam the attack button because there's one attack button, and you use 1 or 2 skills that you might have to defeat them. Meanwhile, they're just attacking you, hitting you, casting spells at you, so you'll see your health instantly drop down. There's basically no way to avoid that, which means in order to get more health back, you have to eat more food, which again goes back to you have to constantly be farming for more stuff. You'll see here my health is going up and down. I'm drinking a bunch of juice where basically you grow carrots and you turn the carrots into juice, but the carrot seeds cost a lot of money, and since I'm not selling the carrot seeds, I'm not making any money back to be able to pay for them, which means I have to go do the annoying quests that I don't want to do to even afford to continue adventuring and playing the story, because it requires a ton of food to get through an area. And like this juice, its downside is it heals you a bunch, but it doesn't fill your stomach up at all, which means I need to cook yet different food to be able to fill my stomach to keep adventuring, which again, in theory, sounds like a good gameplay loop, but it's really not. It's really annoying. I really wish they would have done a story kind of like Stardew Valley, where it's there, but it's not much. Stardew Valley is basically Grandpa left you a farm, build the best farm you can. I would have been so much more satisfied with something like that than trying to go through this whole convoluted mess. You can see there is a daily task list that the fairies give you, that if you do certain things, you unlock the next level of rewards. And it's supposed to be engaging, but it's literally grow 1 of crop, grow 5 of crop, grow 10 of crop. So it's barely an achievement list, if you can call it that. Now, all this gameplay you're seeing here and how I played it was on the Switch, which I do believe is the worst experience. The Switch can barely handle the frames per second. It constantly gets laggy. The loading times are super long, and the controller's just generally unresponsive half the time. I find myself just jamming the A button to try and get through all the annoying text. So like I said, I tried to find something redeeming about this game. I wanted to like it. That's why I put so much time into it. I love farming games. I love Rune Factory. I love Harvest Moon. I love Stardew Valley, so I figured I would love this. But if the story's no good, the combat's no good, and the farming is no good, then what is there even left to do? There is the ability to do some ranching. You can buy some pets that you can milk or get eggs from and things like that. But again, honestly, they're so expensive and require so much upkeep that I can't afford to have them, so I haven't even bothered to buy them yet at this point in the game. The last thing I'm going to super complain about, and I know I've said this a few times, that I'm about 15 hours into the game is still holding my hand. 15 hours into the game, and it is still holding my hand and giving me like quick tips and help tips and cutscenes for, did you know that if you defeat monsters, you can go farther in the game? Like, it is obnoxious. There was a Final Fantasy back in the day, I want to say it was Final Fantasy 12, that had like a 30-hour tutorial, and that's what this feels like. It feels like I'm still in the tutorial, that it's still trying to teach me about the game when I'm this far into it, and that's just, it's so anti-fun. So at the very least, if you still want to play this game, if this hasn't dissuaded you, please wait for a sale or to get it secondhand or rent a copy. It is not worth full price. I can't even find anything redeemable about the game. There are some JRPGs I like, so it's not that I hate the genre, I just think they failed at everything in this. So thank you for watching the review. If you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe and like the video. And if you have anything that you want me to cover, please put it in the comments and I will try and respond. Thank you so much for watching and have a blessed day.